Your voice is not audible, ma'am.
Oh my God. Okay. Do you have any doubts in earlier topics?
No, ma'am.
We'll proceed. Okay, then. Today's topic is artificial neural networks. Have you heard about neural network before?
Yes, ma'am. In DM data mining,
Right. What is that?
there are so many connections, like the sir said. The neurons, based on neurons, our brain works. Like that. Something.
Yeah, it is like that only. But what is the uh, use of it?
Think so. Much data or so many links will be there. Not so clear, ma'am. Just
Okay. Try to remember that. Neural network is modeled. You know, we have biological neural network in the brain of human being. This biological neural network has trillions of neurons, and each neuron is connected to its uh, preceding neurons and the neurons that follows it. It is connected to both. Uh, Artificial neural network is essentially a model of biological neuron, and we have what is the primary purpose of our central nervous system, the brain? The brain learns, brain takes decisions, brains understands, interprets, comprehend. These all significant tasks will be done by our brain. And how does brain learns? How does brain understand a particular concept or a particular situation? That is because all these neurons trigger each other, and they send some kind of signals, and then the brain functions in that manner. What is supposed to be done here in artificial neural network is uh, primarily we create a model of neurons which try to simulate the behavior of biological neurons. How biological neurons take decisions, learn, plan, and can conceive the things, conceive an idea. All this innovate, create, this type of things by no one teaches you these things. You learn fundamentals, but from fundamentals you can derive new knowledge, and then you can create something new which has not been done before by anyone else. You can create a piece of music, an art, painting. How is it possible? This is all possible because of the our biological nervous system, the neurons and their connections and their uh, behavior, their interaction with other neurons. You same thing. Our artificial neural network should be able to do. That is the objective of designing artificial neural networks. Essentially, what happens is these artificial neural networks have to learn, have to create, have to plan, have to adapt, have to mm, take decision by everything on its own. You should not write a program for a computer system to recognize a particular object. It should be able to do it by its own. Human beings learn through experience. Whatever knowledge you have acquired so far, has been added up, has been evolved. It is not like a baby. When a baby is born, baby comes with all the knowledge, and then throughout his life or her life, the baby is using the knowledge with which he or she has been born with. It's not like that. Baby learns. When a baby is very small, he does not know anything. What happens? Parents and elders start teaching. Look at that. That is cat. That is dog. That is mobile. That is laptop. That is water bottle. That is something something. Like that, you go on. Giving knowledge to information and knowledge to the uh, toddler, to a small baby. And then what happens when a baby is 2 years old? Its vocabulary may be, um, 50 words. Then when baby grows to 5 years, vocabulary may increase to 100 words. Likewise, the knowledge is added up. So whatever knowledge you possess right now is the sum of all the information that you have received throughout your life, during your academics at school, and then maybe our extracurricular activities. There also you gain some different type of knowledge, and like that, through experience knowledge evolves, and then it grows. Same thing, a system, a machine, a computer system should be able to do. It should be able to learn through its experiences. It should be able to take right decisions based on its experience. Uh, for instance, if you uh, have a chess game played between a man and a machine, a man also, if he is a new player, may make some mistakes right in the beginning only. However, as he plays more and more game, his experience enhances and gives him more insights, and gives him more detailed knowledge about how and when to take a particular move. So that way machine should also be able to do that. How in a chess game people learn, machine should also be able to learn in a chess game only, for instance. Of course, there are so many applications now where machine is learning on its own. Well, what happens is, in an artificial neural network, uh, you have composed uh, mm, several neurons into one unit known as artificial neural network. It is the formal definition is, it is a collection of artificial neurons, also known as nodes, that are connected together to form a network. And the applications of artificial neural networks are, and by no means it is exhaustive, there are several and several applications. Few of them are statistical estimation, optimization, control theory. uh, Based on these concepts, in the fields of speech recognition, image analysis, adaptive control, and many more. All right. Um, Generally, what happens in artificial neural networks is you have a neuron, which is also called as a node. That node has a particular function, and this node is connected to preceding and succeeding nodes. The connections between these nodes have some weights associated with it. Input is fed in the first layer of the network, which is known as the input layer, and followed by the input layer you have hidden layers, and finally you have a output layer. Hidden layers are termed as hidden because they are in between input and output and are not directly visible to the user. User interacts with input layer and the output layer. The terminology, the neuron model is the information processing unit of artificial neural network, the neuron model, what I explained to you. The architecture means the set of neurons and their links, how they are connected, and each link poses a weight. Learning algorithm, because you want the artificial neural network to learn by itself, you have to specify an algorithm. To specify an algorithm, uh, some sort of programming has to be done so that the network, the neural network, is able to learn by itself by going through that algorithm, which is concretely implemented in the form of a program. The neuron model encompasses these features. They are inputs. Every neuron or a node has an input, has a weight associated with it, has an adder. Adder is required to sum the weights that are coming into it, and an activation function which are applied onto the value that has been obtained by this sum operation. It consists of set of links describing neuron inputs uh, denoted by xi with weights w1, w2 up to wm, and an adder function. Adder function is a linear combiner. Linear combiner is nothing but adding up the uh, initially you perform uh, multiplication of weight and the input, neuron input with a weight, and you multiply it and then add for all such weights, w1 w2 to wm, I is equals to 1 to m. This is the weighted sum, which is a linear combiner. And then activation function, there are several activation functions. Here they are denoted by here it is denoted by phi. So phi is u plus b. U is that linear linear sum of u, which has been obtained, that is added to the bias, and then you apply uh, linear activation function onto this to obtain value v. Okay, v is obtained by adding u linear sum with the bias. Every node is also given a bias value, and both you are adding into v, and then you apply activation function. B denotes bias, and V is the induced field of neurons. Uh, it is induced field because bias is added to the weighted sum U. The bias has the effect of applying a transformation to the weighted sum U and is an external parameter of the neuron. Typically it is 1. When you add where W naught equal to B and X naught equal to 1, if you are starting with the I equal to 0, where I 0 is bias, up to M, you can compute this induced field of neurons V directly. If you add bias to this, here we are starting with the weights W1 up to Wn. If a bias is added directly, V can be obtained. This is the final architecture which has been obtained. It's not final, it's just a combination of all the neuron model what we studied just now. This is a neuron or a node. It has inputs coming into it. Also it has got an output going out of it. x1, x2 and up to xm are the input values that have been given to this model. Every link every link of this input to this neuron has been associated with a weight w1, w2 up to wm. If there are m inputs, there will be m weights. There is a external input bias given to this, and here it is a summation operation. This is a weighted sum because you are taking a weighted sum of w1 into x1 plus w2 into x2 plus wm up to wm into xm. Including bias, you are getting this v value, and when an activation function is applied to v, you are getting y, which is given as input to the next layer of neuron. Activation functions. Commonly used activation functions are step function, ramp function, sigmoid function, and Gaussian function. Nowadays, in deep learning, ReLU activation function is the most popular one which is being used. A step function is also known as sign function, and it is used for binary classification. Binary classification in the sense that you have only two classes. For instance, cancerous tumor and non-cancerous tumor. So two classes. To classify a particular instance or an object into two classes, this step function can be used. When the input is continuous input in the sense that uh, student GPA prediction, it is continuous because it can be 5.1, 5.2, 5.5, 6, 7.5, 9, 9.5, like that. That is continuous value. It's not divided into classes. Or the a good example will be rainfall prediction, how much rain we are expecting, that we can predict in some continuous value. It's not discrete. And these three ramp functions, sigmoid and Gaussian, can be used for classification as well as regression problems. Primarily, regression problems are used for those applications where you have continuous output, a continuous value as the output. A step function is this. A, if V is less than C, C is a kind of threshold value. If you consider C to be 0.5, and V, if you recall, V is the weighted sum with a bias added to it. On V, we are applying activation function of step, and step function can produce two values. It can be any one of them. How do you do that? How do you give value A or B? It depends on C. C can be a particular constant value which can be used as a threshold value. If it is 0.5, everything less than 5 is A, and greater than or equal to 0.5 is B. That is the output of this activation function. Ramp function, it can generate A, B. Otherwise, there is an equation given. A, if V value is less than C, C is again a constant or a threshold value. B, if V is greater than D, I think this should be C only. From where we got D? Okay, might be the ramp function. Okay, here it is given. You can look at, I have opened up a paper, a research paper. In this, they have described the ramp function. It is a piecewise linear function, and it has these you know patterns. 1 if x is greater than 1, x if x is greater than or equal to 0 and less than or equal to 1, and 0 if x is less than 0. Okay, so instead of CD, we can put 1 0 there. As you can see here, we can have here two different patterns are given. This is 1x 0 and this is 1x minus 1. You can choose a value 0 to 1 or minus 1 to 1, and x itself, if it is in between minus 1 and plus 1, if it is greater than or equal to minus 1 and less than or equal to 1, if it is if you are going for the second type. So here we have two constants. It can be 1 0 or it can be minus 1 1. Otherwise the equation is a plus v minus c. V is this, c is whatever value you are taking here, into b minus a, and divide by d minus c. So there is some equation given based on these values. Their ramp function given is x directly. Here instead of direct function, equation is given. Sigmoid function is z plus 1 over 1 plus exponent. This is exponent I means raised to the power of minus x into v plus y. So these values, y is the output of the neuron, v is this output of weighted sum, and x is some input. So z is also given as some input, not from the user. When you perform the calculations, you obtain values and then you put on these values in this equation, which is a sigmoid function, to get the value for activation function. Gaussian function is exponent, means it's raised to power minus v minus c square over sigma square. So sigma denotes here radius or spread. Some values which are calculated based on that weighted sum and inputs and other calculations, and then you can apply activation function to get a non-linear transformation of the weighted sum value. Okay, neural network architectures. Neural network is a collection of neurons, and these neurons can be connected in some format, and that those formats can be called as a network architecture. There are several architectures. Here three have been mentioned: single layer feed forward network, multi-layer feed forward network, and recurrent network. Let us look at single layer feed forward network. It was developed long ago when the concept of neural networks was generated and was devised and was developed. At that time, feed forward neural networks were the first type of neural network that were developed. and they are the simple ones. The idea about behind this feed-forward network is that there are a series of nodes connected in a linear fashion, and input is up given. Some kind of transformations, linear and non-linear, will be applied on this input, and this will be moving forward and forward from one layer to another layer, and finally it reaches the output layer from which the output is generated for the user. So it is moving forward. That's why it is known as feed forward neural network. Everything moves forward. It is shown in this figure. This input nodes, input is given, and here directly output layer is mentioned. However, you get in between hidden layers. So from input layer you apply a linear transformation, and then you apply a activation function which is a non-linear transformation, and then the values are given to the subsequent uh, layers, neurons in the subsequent layer, and again some kind of linear and non-linear operations are applied, and then values are forwarded to the subsequent layer. This process continues, and finally you get the output here. So this is known as single layer feed forward network. All right, because it is single layer, that's why hidden layers have not been shown. From the name only we can know that it is a single layer. So because I am looking into deep neural networks wherein we have several layers. So looking into this single feed forward network, I thought that they are missing, but then this network has been designed in this format only, where you have only a single layer. This is only the single layer, and here you get the output layer. Perceptron, okay. In single layer feed forward network, the first kind of model is the perceptron model. In this model, we have this neuron, a single neuron in a single layer. It has been proposed by Rosenblatt in the year 1958, and it is a simple neuron, and used for binary classification. It can classify the inputs into one of the given two categories. It has only one output node because there are only two categories, so the output yields either class 1 or class 2. And the activation function used in perceptron was the step function. We know about the step function. It can give only two outputs, and based on a particular constant or a threshold value. If the weighted sum of input is greater than or equal to a particular threshold theta, there when activation functions were described, it was C. Here theta is used. 1 is returned if it is greater than or equal to theta, otherwise -1 will be given as the output. +1 if V is greater or equal to theta, -1 otherwise. The applications of perceptron which is a binary classifier, and also it can model linearly separable classes. Linearly separable classes, if you recall, are those that can be separated into two groups by a straight line. When you plot the uh, instances, data points on a 2D plot, and if they can be separated using a straight line, then it is known as a linearly separable classes. This perceptron can only model linearly separable classes, and it can't model non-linear classes which are, sort of mixed up. And the perceptron is trained with the training examples of classes C1 and C2. If you recall, all machine learning models, including artificial neural networks, SVM, decision trees, k-means, everything follows a two-step process wherein training is done in the first step and testing is performed in the second step. Training is done by providing a huge data set. From the data set, the model learns the patterns, and then based on its learning, it can predict or classify a new kind of data object. Perceptron is trained with classes with the training examples with classes C1 and C2 in such a way that the output is +1 if the input assigned to class C1, and output is -1 if the input is assigned to C2. The Boolean functions and or complement are linearly separable functions, whereas XOR is non-linearly separable functions. And therefore, perceptron can be used to classify and or complement functions. Having said that, it cannot by any means classify XOR function because XOR is non-linearly separable, and perceptron can model linearly separable classes. When linearly separable functions are plotted on a two-dimensional graph, a single straight line can be drawn such that it can separate the values in two parts. We can see OR function, and plotting of OR function in this graph. OR function is 0 when both are 0. Otherwise, it is 1 when it is 1 and 0. It is 1 when it is 0 and 1. It is 1 when both are 1, 1. This is the plot of OR function, and this can be segregated by a straight line. Okay, you are drawing a straight line like this, and you are separating it into two segments. This can be done using perceptron. Okay, the learning algorithm for perceptron is initially random weights are assigned to input variables in the range -0.5 and +5. Training data is presented to perceptron and all the outputs are observed by the perceptron. If the output is incorrect, weights are adjusted accordingly using the formula. What is the formula? Weight Wi into A into Xi into E, where E is the error produced and A is the learning rate. A is the learning rate into xi into E. E is the error. The learning rate A may be defined as follows. If output is correct, A is 0. If output is too low, A some positive value. When output is very high, A has been given some negative number. So that value you multiply with the input and also with the error which is produced, and you add the whole expression result to the weight, and A value is set based on these. After modification of weights, the next training data is applied with the modified weight, and weights are further adjusted accordingly until error is reduced to an acceptable value. This process continues. Once all the training data has been applied, the process starts again until all the weights are correct and all errors are zero. Each iteration of this process is known as an epoch. You perform several epochs. Epochs means doing this whole process all over again, number of times. That is the algorithm. And this is the procedure for OR function. For OR function, weights are initialized as minus 0.2 and 0.4 because there are two inputs, and weights, number of weight values is equal to the number of inputs. First training data, for instance, x1 is 0 and x2 is 0. What is the output? Output must be equal to 0. Compute y. How do you compute y? You have to first take the uh, weighted sum of um, x and input and weights. You have to multiply input and weight and take their sum and apply step function and compute y value. If it is equal to 0 and since the value of y is 0, output is correct. Therefore, no change in weights is required. Consider another training example where x1 is 0 and x2 is 1. Output should be equal to 1. And after applying this, the output got is 1. Again, the output is right. So, no need to do any changes. This training data also output is right. And for the last combination also output is the right. And there is no need to perform iteration or epochs, as the first iteration only provided the right values. However, the process has to be repeated for all training data. This is only for one training data. It has to be modified for, it has to be done for, because you are training this with a data set. Data set will have maybe hundreds or thousands of values. So for all of them, you have to do that. Okay, there is a limitation of perceptron. What is it? It is that it can model only linearly separable functions. It cannot model non-linear functions. And XOR is an example which requires nonlinear transformation and nonlinear, separation. For that, another model has been proposed, which was the modified version of single layer feed-forward network, which is a multi-layer feed-forward network, or also known as multi-layer perceptron. And here, hidden layers have been added. In between input and output layers, hidden layers are added. And it can handle non-linearly separable tasks or separable by a hyperplane. You know, linearly separable means separating by a single line. Non-linearly separable can be separated by using a hyperplane. It can be a sort of rectangle like that. Okay, then we will continue with multi-layer feed-forward network in tomorrow's class. Do you understand today's class?
Yes, ma'am. But
Hmm.
not. I think
Not very clear.
I should read one like that.
Okay. Manisha,
Yes, ma'am.
please listen to Sophia. Do you know Sophia?
Yes, ma'am. Just
Humanoid robot.
a
Okay,
robot.
you listen to some of the interviews of Sophia. Sophia is learning. Sophia has a deep learning model built into it, which can learn through experience. You know what happened? It is such a amusing and interesting interview I looked at once, where an interviewer asked Sophia, "Do you know some television serial name?" Then she said, "No." And during the conversation, she has learned something about that show. And towards the end of the video, that interview, she said something about that TV show. Then interviewer asked, "Did you learn just now through our conversation?" She said something. So uh, you please read it once. It is a very important and prevailing concept. Everywhere you can see about artificial neural networks and deep neural networks. Go through it. If you find it difficulty or doubt, concern, tomorrow you can ask. Okay?
Okay, ma'am.
Bye.
Yeah, ma'am.